Welcome. You're listening to the Rutten River Pursuits podcast. Join our epic pro staff around the Sonic Campfire for stories and adventures from our eastern mountains to the Chesapeake Salt. Let our highs and lows inspire you to take to the outdoors.
Hey guys, you are listening to the Rutten River Pursuits podcast. Tonight's episode is brought to you by Better the Hunt. Have you ever been on stand when it's so cold that everything you touch sends an icy shockwave through your body? What do you do when the opportunity of a lifetime presents itself and your hands are so cold you're not sure if you can even hold your bow? Do you wish you could change that? Then head on over to betterthehunt.com. They offer the insulated bow mitt to help keep your hand warm and ready for action in some of the toughest conditions. The bow mitt is offered in 3 mossy oak camo patterns as well as a solid black and attaches to any bow. Better the Hunt also offers the pack rat system, which is a must-have for any hunter looking for a hands-free approach to keeping his rifle or shotgun secure while he's traveling through the big woods and high mountains. If you are ready to hunt smarter and not harder, then check out betterthehunt.com. Better the Hunt, it's what they do. Hey guys, it's good to be back. Around the table tonight, we have to my left.
I'm Ryan.
I'm Will.
It's Uncle Buck.
I'm Steve.
Uncle Catfish is here.
And I'm Kyle. So guys, I know we had quite the adventurous week the past week.
It was a busy one.
Anybody care to recap some of the highs and lows from the past week?
Ooh. Phil,
Yeah.
all eyes are on you. Bro.
I could take up the whole episode with just between Saturday, Sunday, and Monday.
Oh,
myself. In Saturday, I got out turkey hunting for the very first time ever, and Monday I got out for the second time ever.
You've been busy.
Yeah, and what better can I ask for? The Saturday I was out with Will. Monday I was out with Uncle Catfish and Small Fry.
Nice.
Yep, turkeys and tay-tay.
Nice. Did you guys get into some birds?
We heard a bird Monday morning from the time we stepped into the woods.
Yeah.
And we heard that bird all the way up until we gobbled. And I learned a big lesson that I heard a couple nights before from Matt Moret.
Yeah.
What's
it
that?
rang through my head. The gobble is the most aggressive and dangerous call to make while out in the woods turkey hunting.
Yes,
What
sir.
happened?
Flip a coin.
Flip a coin is exactly right. They're either going to come running in and out because you called them in for a fight, or they're going to turn tail and run. Because they've been beat up by another Tom one too many times.
And that's what happened, it sounds like.
And he cut out. But, you know, it wasn't a wash. I learned that. I put 2 and 2 together, and Catfish was scouting out the rest of the property.
Were you hearing those birds? Oh, yeah. I was 150, about 100 yards away. And from the time I left them that they went up over the bank, I could hear this bird. I actually stopped in the dark and looked at Phil and said, "Did you hear him?" He said, "Yeah." So he went up over the bank to set up with Lacey, and I worked my way out and set up 100 yards away just to sit and listen. I never called. I just listened to that bird. And I'm telling you, he gobbled. I'm not lying if I said 50, 60 times.
Yeah. Yeah.
And at one point, he was about, what Lacey said, 50 yards from you.
I'd even say 30, 40.
Just in the thicket where they could just not get a shot. So
See, they start gobbling like that. I'm already filling out the check for the taxidermist.
Yeah,
he's
he's-
like,
yeah.
oh, he's in the truck.
I thought for sure.
he hung up.
The way he was gobbling, Lacey would call, he'd gobble back, but then he would gobble 4 more times when we were playing hard to get.
Yeah.
So how long did this
He
go
was
on?
not. He was nutso turkey.
Well, we played with him until it got light enough for me to see
Yeah.
good enough to make sure we're not going to waste some shot.
45 minutes he gobbled.
kidding.
Right.
Yeah.
And then, but what did we learn, Catfish, after we gobbled at him? He shut down. He didn't gobble, guys, not once after that.
Lacey got to the point where she had to make a decision. This bird was getting finicky, and it actually started moving 10 yards further away, and she had to either call him in or bust it. And she, that's gambling. I mean, they were going to kill him, shoot him in the face to bring him in 10 more yards, it was like a light switch. He shut up and he was gone.
But after we gobbled, what did you hear, Catfish?
after you gobbled, like way off to my right, so 100 yards from them, plus 100 plus yards from me, further from them, where they couldn't hear him, I heard the man. Like, I heard a deep-chested, I mean, like, cigar coffin type of bird up in this tree. Like, he gobbled so much that I thought he was going to break the branch. Like, it was thunderous. And my eyes lit up and went, sorry for their luck. And I started heading that way. And I went up over this 40-foot bank and up into the woods and tried to purr a little bit. I don't know where he went. He'd come out of roost. He split, gone, never heard him again. But I put on a good 2 miles up through up through and down through a thick power line, all ripped up jaggers. But you know what? I learned a lot. I found 2 tree stands. I found the roosting mecca. Like, this bird and the birds with him had the bark worn down. Like, I mean, the branches were worn down where they were sitting. So I know where he's at, and we've gave it a few days. So Saturday morning, I'm going to be down in there trying to sweet talk him out of there. But you could tell the difference between this Tom. This might have been a 2-3-year-old bird they had working compared to this one. It's like a bass drum compared to like rattling on a can.
Okay,
nice. And better yet, little scouting for this coming fall. Oh, yeah. There were a ton of deer scrapes.
Oh my God, there are deer tracks everywhere.
Cool. What else happened?
I got called a mean name, but it was actually a compliment after listening to Spencer Boljak last week. So it was we were out late podcasting with Spencer last week, and so I got up kind of late the next morning. Didn't have time to shave. It had been a couple days, and the guy at work sees me and says, "Miser, you look like a hobo." And I kind of took that as a compliment, you know, after hearing Spencer's hobo talk last week.
It's a good school.
It was a good school, yeah. He was good. If people haven't listened to Spencer Boljak, download that episode. That was
reality
that was a
TV
lot of fun.
star.
Yeah,
joins us.
It was a good show, guys. I wasn't here I was off site doing some work, and it was fantastic.
Thank you.
Completely entertained my lawn mowing.
Yeah, I couldn't believe just the varying topics that got covered.
The crazy thing is
all over the rainbow.
We never once talked about hunting or fishing, which is what we talk about in every podcast, and that those topics never came up.
Yeah.
So we've got to have him back on to at least say those 2 words.
Outdoor survivalist goes right along with the outdoor theme, though. I mean, he's a pretty amazing dude.
Yeah. And when there's so much that he does and we didn't even touch. You know, it's just he's a pretty cool dude, and we're lucky to have him on the show.
Yeah.
I'm going to let one of you guys, the 3 of you guys, tell the weekend. I don't know if you want to bring up the really nice place we saw, but so I'm going to go with something different and say that I went down to see Brad, the owner of Stark Moon Kayaks in Red Lion.
Okay.
Thought at first, like, this is in the middle of nowhere. Pulled up and went, I know I got the right place. There's kayaks laying everywhere. And then there was like a 20-foot T-Rex, actual life T-Rex in the front yard. And told Lace, I said, I'm not even like quite sure I want to get out. So jumped out of the truck and went, oh, man, you know me and kayaks.
Jurassic Yak.
Yeah. This is like me and kayaks. And then I go out and see all these different kayaks, brand new kayaks everywhere. I mean, everywhere you look, there's kayaks. And they're out laying in the yard. They're laying on the hillside. They're on top of the roof of the place.
Yeah.
They can't even walk on the porch. There's so many of them, from whitewater kayaks to like racing kayaks, long skinny ones and everything in between. But so I went down and bought I took Lacey with me, and I got a brand new 11.5-foot feel-free lure, which is, to me, the Cadillac of all fishing kayaks, is in its class. And while we were there, my wife was amazing enough to go, you need 2 of those. You need matching.
Nice.
Sweet.
That's great.
Yeah, we loaded up 2 brand new 11.5-foot lures. And
I had a girl, Small Fry.
Thanks, Small Fry.
Thank you, lady.
Way to talk him into that. You had to twist his arm, I'll bet.
Yeah. And Brad, it's Stark Moon. I mean, if you would look at these kayaks online, try to buy them from Amazon or wherever, feel free. They're, $1,300, and he sells them for $1,100 out the door. I mean, I don't know how he undercuts everybody, but he's got a real good deal on kayaks down there. So check him out in Red Line and Tell him I sent you. So we had a good time. Nice dude. And told me there's lots of coyotes around killing his fawns. So come take care of that problem, too.
There you go.
Yeah.
Catfish would be happy to oblige.
I got the 2 new ones sitting in the garage. They're like twins. It's driving me nuts. I love it.
You had them out yet?
I have not. Them still. I got the anchor systems on them. I'm working on lights now.
That's got to be killing you.
They're going to be ready before I take them out.
Special.
Yeah. Somebody please talk about this past weekend, because I've been dying to hear about this. Nobody said a word all week.
Do you mean when we took Phil to Punxsutawney?
Yeah, somebody talk about it. I have no clue what
I hate to break it to you guys. I saw my shadow.
We're still smitten from the weekend.
6 more weeks of spring.
I hope 6 more weeks of spring turkey. Too bad that we couldn't do that. Huh?
This is going to be hard for me not to comment on.
I don't.
Yeah.
So
Someone start.
we went and we got invited to go to the Bearded Buck Spring Turkey event extravaganza.
Spring fling.
Spring cast and punt. Pass and cast and blast. Yeah, they do everything there at the little compound, the Bearded Buck compound.
They sure do.
It was phenomenal.
I think they call it a hunting camp.
Yeah.
That was a hunting camp.
It was a hunting camp, was it not?
I'll be darned.
I
It
believe
sure
compound is a better word.
was. Yeah.
I like the compound word.
Yeah.
It was a beautiful house with a gigantic pool, with a gigantic pool house with the 27 fireplaces.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah, I was going to back you up and say it's a nice house on our level, outdoorsmen, not for some lady that wants this Victorian mansion or anything.
Yeah.
It's
That's
full of
log
wood,
cabiny, stone.
But the craftsmanship on it was like the actual workmanship. If you look at the craftsmanship as being a carpenter, a mason, whatever, was the landscaping was unmatched.
Yeah.
Everything was pristine.
It was one huge man cave, I thought. That's what it kept on coming.
Oh, yeah.
Like
It just reminded me of the Hunter's version of the Playboy Mansion. That's what I kept thinking when I was
Yeah, it has a
perfect. That's perfect.
Yeah, there's a water slide and they come
grotto.
down. They come down through rocks, and it's like
Did you guys
pool
go on the
house?
water slide?
We did not.
No, I wanted to get in a pool. So
At the Playboy Mansion, they chase tail. At this one, they chase whitetail.
they chased whitetails.
white.
I see what you did there.
and beards.
They
I
chase
took
fans.
I took over 90 GoPro pictures of the inside of the pool house and the house, the pool itself, and
Thank you for doing that.
I still did not get the magnificent industrial kitchen, the table for 40 people.
Yeah, like a chef's kitchen.
I didn't see any of the bedrooms. I didn't see. The massive.
The table in the kitchen sat like 30.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Yep.
Like it was.
And that wasn't the kitchen. That was. You could sit 30 people at the island in the kitchen. Then there was the table itself where people ate. But
It was incredible. And then, Traeger was there, so we had Traeger grills going the entire time.
No.
Yep.
way.
All the briskets they brought in.
The meat,
How about
Wings.
this wild turkey breast?
wild turkey,
Oh my
Wild
god!
turkey.
somehow I missed the king crab leg. Yeah, I
king
missed
crab legs,
Shrimp.
jumbo shrimp.
So, Stevie, you glad we
pulled pork
we
ribs.
went over this for you? You feeling better
Yeah,
about it now?
thanks a lot.
I'm glad that you,
And a live bluegrass band.
I
that-
did see
oh,
that.
I pulled up
Here's
to one of the
something that was
outbuildings
good.
when I showed up that had 4 tractor and trailer bays on it, with a porch out back with just random amazing bows and big massive deer skulls laying around. And I saw their trucks there, but nobody else was there. I knocked on the door. I
you're
thought
like,
somebody said,
this has got to be the place.
I said, "This is the most amazing hunting camp ever," and it turned out to be their barn. Yeah, it was pretty amazing.
Jerry Tibbett, he couldn't have been more inviting and a more gracious host, and
Thank you, Jerry.
to make us all feel welcome and comfortable. The whole crew.
Absolutely. I mean, that's one of the biggest takeaways from it is as wonderful as the place was, the only thing that beat it were the people.
The people, yeah.
It was great.
And they had a live band.
Yeah.
They're playing guitars
Bluegrass
all night. And
So
people playing bluegrass.
Irish shuffleboard and pool tables. And
Rick from Drury.
My redheaded buddy Ryan from Prime playing the ukulele for us all night. He was fantastic.
The beer flowed like wine, and the hunting personalities gathered like the salmon at Capistrano.
I saw 3 bars there made of stone. And it was amazing. I got to sit at the bar, and I got to eat pulled pork barbecue for brunch and watch the life on TV behind the bar. It was good stuff.
Yeah, the Penn's one, which was nice for everyone because it's out west there.
It's all right.
Western part of the state.
That's your thing.
I woke up in my hammock to listening to at least a dozen turkeys serenading me awake in the morning. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
It just felt like this place is gorgeous, but it's literally in the middle of nowhere. Mm-hmm. It's awesome.
We left and stayed in Punxsutawney, so we had the traditional 6 a.m. wake up from Sonny and Cher.
Yes, we did.
In Punxsy, did you do it?
It was perfect.
Even though we slept till about 7:15, 7:30, we still had it set at 6.
I remember rolling over and
They say our love won't pay the rent.
I just rolled over and gave you the thumbs up. And then I curled back up.
So who else did you guys talk to?
Babe.
There?
I got you.
Blake from Badlands Packs.
Yeah.
So Badlands, Traeger,
Denny,
Beard
yeah,
Buck.
Denny Bruce from Traeger,
The Life TV / Film The Hunt.
Tom Petrie and Nick Ventura.
Prime Bows and
A lot of love going out to Mikey too,
Chief
Mikey
Outdoors,
Miller,
Mikey Miller.
who's a really giving, quiet person.
the whole group is.
Yeah.
Cud.
Cud.
Yeah.
He's funny.
Cud just had a birthday, I saw.
Yeah, today.
Happy birthday, Cud.
Happy
birthday.
He did a cannonball into the pool like at 10 o'clock.
Cannonball.
Yeah.
Yeah. Needless to say, awesome weekend.
There was no one there saying, I'm kind of a big deal. It was just...
But it sounds like everybody could have said that. If they really wanted.
Pretty much.
Except for us, maybe.
You know what got me that I wasn't looking for it. I turned around and I don't get startled much. Was the alligator under the steps.
Yeah.
The alligator under the steps got me a minute.
I wrestled that.
That's
joker.
when Kyle got his picture taken.
Yeah, I was wrestling. The thing came
kidding.
alive. It was like
Wow.
Night Museum.
It was the lights were out
Glad
as
you're
I
okay.
came down the steps.
Thanks, bud.
I turned to walk up the steps and I just caught the teeth out of the little bit of light that was down there and I went, what the hell was that?
Like a 16-foot alligator.
Whoa.
The other thing, too, is our buddies from out west, or the PA Rut Report was there as well. So we had 2 podcasts going at all times. And
It was podtastic.
podtastic.
Yeah, that was nice for me to actually meet those guys and finally put some faces with the names and voices I've known. So
Yep. I got to hang out and actually get to know Brother Roy, too, so he was cool.
I was just
guy.
getting ready to shout out that he even brought a mess of morels.
Oh, his
too.
morels
Did he?
were fantastic.
I'd never seen anybody bring or share that many morels, wild morels.
Here.
I mean, that was a really big gift. I mean, there must have been 100, 150 of them cooked by the Traegers.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He goes out like
So,
all
my God,
day,
they, like, melted.
hunt
They were
morels
good.
for 8 hours at a time.
He always says,
He's
you
an addict.
can see my truck, but that's not where I'm hunting my...
Yeah. Technically, he's addicted to mushrooms. I'm just saying.
Literally.
Literally. Technically,
He
literally.
likes
Yeah.
shrooms, man.
No, but they're delicious. And that was, for some of us, was our first time we ever had morels. So
Yeah.
Yep.
that was great.
Well, you said there, I don't ever find them. I know people here in the eastern part of the state hunt them.
Yeah.
But they're not like they are on the west side of the mountains. When I was hunting growing up as a kid, we saw them a lot more, in the West Appalachian than we did over here. I don't see them here either.
Gotcha.
Just don't see them.
Oh, this guy I work with was telling me he was out for several hours a couple days ago and got, like a Walmart shopping bag full. And I'm thinking, Brother Roy does that,
15
10
minutes.
steps from his truck.
He feeds them to his turkeys on the back 40.
Yeah, really.
Yeah. I'm actually heading out to Brother Roy's this weekend, and we're going to podcast in his food plot. So
That's cool.
hopefully that works out weather-wise and everything, and we'll have something for everyone.
Yeah.
Cool
stuff.
So
Quite the busy week for R2.
Sounds like it.
we have a big show. Can we talk about that at all?
I think so.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to talking to somebody who's a real hockey fan, doesn't like the Penguins.
How do you know?
I'm just guessing.
I bet you he doesn't like the Penguins.
Yeah, not many people like the Penguins.
He's Canadian.
Oh,
Will doesn't know what
teaser.
to say.
I don't know what just happened. Doesn't make sense.
All right, that's probably the last you guys will hear from me tonight. Will's going to shut my mic off.
I think we need to take a little break here. This episode of Our Two Pursuits is brought to you by Underground Sports Performance and Fitness. If you live in the central Pennsylvania region and you're looking for a gym with a community of people who are passionate about helping you get results, then check out the Underground in Altoona, Pennsylvania. The Underground boasts 12,000 square foot of training space, 15,000 pounds of free weights, and the best strength and cardio training equipment in the area. A huge turf area is also available for sports training of all ages. For more information or to schedule a consultation with one of the certified trainers, give them a call at 814-201-2163 or check them out online on Facebook or at undergroundsports.net. That's undergroundsports.net. All right, guys. We've got a heck of a guest tonight. Someone we've just met back in February. Mm-hmm. I've been following the heck out of him on Instagram, and he does not disappoint one bit.
Ever.
Every day I'm getting hit with some hard-hitting fishing. If it's trout out of a stream, if it's salmon out of a lake.
I saw some ice fishing pics.
And some ice fishing pics with howling winds. I think a video that I saw of howling winds.
Guys, I can't take the suspense anymore. Who are we talking about?
We have with us our good friend Tyler Dunn from Ontario, Canada with us. Welcome, Tyler.
Hi, Tyler.
Hey, Tyler.
Hey, boys. How's it going? It's good to be back.
Yeah.
Good to have you.
Great. How are you?
Good, boys. How are you?
Good.
Good.
You do any fishing today?
Absolutely. Hit up some lake here on Steelhead, then we ended the day up on Lake Superior.
Wow. And what were you catching up there, Tyler?
Steelhead and both.
Nice.
Yeah, rough life.
Yeah. Sounds tough.
No, our snow is just finally leaving here, so we're getting some nice weather and taking advantage of it.
Wow. So before we get into the fishing end of it, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, those sort of things.
Well, I'm a 32-year-old fishing guide from Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. I'm actually born in Alberta, but pretty well raised and lived my whole life here in the stew. I was a fishing junkie all through my 20s, pretty much wasted those away learning the rivers and the fish, and went to school, swung a hammer for a long time, and now I'm just being able to bring people fishing for work.
Nice.
It's been a long road, but picking away at it.
Who taught you how to fish, Tyler?
I started just going on my own after school and before school, and my grandfather and my dad used to bring me on annual fishing trips when I was a kid, but I grew up playing sports. I was hockey and baseball and skier and golfer.
You don't say.
Yeah, I did all that.
You say hockey.
Oh, yeah, lots of hockey. I got scars to
That's
prove
surprising.
You're like you like this big physical looking, hockey looking dude. Like you got
yeah, I got the hockey hair going.
The hockey hair, and it's all there. It checks out. I mean, you're.
That's a Canadian thing. It is.
When you're catching fish, you're like, self-taught, no thanks to you, Dad.
No. I spent a lot of time fishing with my uncles, and I was about 16, 17, who fished locally, and introduced me into a couple of the local guides back then, John Giuliani being one of them, who still guides to this day and is a good friend of mine. So, I got a lot of help from a lot of guys that took an interest in teaching me when I was young, and trying to do the same now with when I meet young kids on the river. I see a kid out there that's 16, 17 years old by himself, walk over there and give him some tips, and it goes a long way.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
That's
good.
awesome.
Yeah, goes a long way.
Yeah. So
you too can be a fishing guide someday if you put.
Yeah, you'd be surprised. A lot of younger kids are asking, how to do it and what I did. And bottom line is, get a job, go to school, start it, and start another job, trade or something, make some money. And you're not gonna just start a fishing guide company and
meet some podcasters,
network, and do trade shows in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. You meet some pretty wild guys.
Well, I mean, you did hit on it pretty good there earlier, though. You gave yourself a whole decade. You said I was in my 20s and just kind of got to know all of the streams and rivers.
Legit a fishing bum, trout bum. Just made enough money to put gas in my Sunfire I was driving at the time, and buy beat. And it's just this day to day. Still kind of that way to this day, but
that's some advice you could give to some young guy who's considering doing something like that. You got to give yourself some time.
You got to put the time in and learn, man. It's people are paying you money to take them out fishing. You have to produce. You got to show them a good time. You have to connect with them as a person. You're with them for 8-10 hours a day. You got to be able to talk to them and show them the area. It's not all just about fishing, but you got to produce too. You have to know where these fish are going to be. You got to predict. You almost have to predict what's going to happen in a day.
Well, I'm going to have to preface this by stating that I'm a super fan of Tyler Dunn's. But yeah,
what makes it so super?
Just because he's a heck of a good guy, and far as I can tell, he produces every day.
I gotta say, we were like when we started talking to Tyler in February. It was like this instant 8-way man crush.
I'm on the fence. I'm on the fence. But let me share a story.
Hard to get.
I haven't met him yet, so
yeah.
It's still an 8-way. My wife loves his hair.
There we go.
Hey, what happens in PA stays in PA.
Yeah. So the other day we were getting ready for we were talking about doing a Tyler Dunn ad on our podcast, and Stevie's like, I've been talking to Tyler Dunn all week, and Catfish stops what he's doing, looks up and goes, "You've been talking to Tyler Dunn all week?" What? What's going on here, guys? Seriously.
That's true.
Will had to break up the fight.
I love it.
Oh, the tension. You could cut it with a knife. It was.
I'm not cheating on you, Catfish. I'm not cheating on you.
Oh, man.
Anybody that's a better fisher than me, man, there's something about him.
Yeah, I'm a kayak guy too, so.
Tyler,
oh man,
there we go.
Tyler, I think Catfish is the only American that's going to move and change nationalities Canadian, other than being for Trump. It would be for you.
Yeah. Come on up, we let everybody in. So.
Where the Canada gets a load of me.
Awesome.
No, it was when we met you at the show. It was your personality and the like vibe around you. I could see how it would be an amazing fishing trip to go all the way to Canada for a lot of people to go on a fishing trip. You got the personality to be a guide, and you're going to make it fun. So
yeah. Well, that's one thing I've learned too. Is it's not. It's almost like a travel plan advisor, because people are taking their holidays. They might only get 2 weeks of the year to come go somewhere, and they choose to come to the Sault Ste. Marie. So you're setting up hotels. You're explaining what they're going to do for the week. You're planning a trip for people a lot of time with the kids, and it's a big deal for a lot of people. They're spending a lot of money. They're traveling. Plus, you want to show them what we have here and how easy it is to get up here and check it out. Like literally, it's driving across a bridge, and you're in some pretty sweet fishing.
Yeah,
and
that's awesome.
It's not even the fishing. It's nice people. It's a very friendly area. We have all kinds of other things to do other than fishing, but our fishing is our big draw. Fishing and hunting.
I'm not so sure about hotels. I think the 8 of us are going to cram in your Sunfire.
That's been since retired.
Since, from last episode to this episode, some of us are working on our hobo status. So
yeah, we'll hook a kayak up to it then.
There you go.
Or not a kayak. We'll hook. I mean, a hammock rather. I got kayak on the brain.
Hook a kayak.
I got one more Tyler Dunn story before we get into the meat of it. It's how we met him. Was like we were going mad at the outdoor show, and we're going from booth to booth, and everybody's pulling at us saying, come over here, and all of a sudden, like we're in the fishing hall, and Uncle Catfish says, I got this guy, he's from Canada, I want to check him out, and I do this interview, and so we get there, and we're Tyler's at lunch, and so we're waiting for him, and here, Keith Beasley's sitting there, and
from Canada in the Rough, right?
From Canada in the Rough, and we did, and I feel like really like kind of bad in retrospect, is that we didn't really know who Keith Beasley was, and he's he's got a pretty big TV show up there, and
you wouldn't know it, and he wasn't going to tell you. He
definitely wasn't going to say anything. Guy. So humble and cool. Yeah, we learned all this in retrospect and stuff, and just a super nice guy. Just you guys, he was just like, I can talk to you guys while you're here, and we're like, no, we're here for Tyler. I don't want to waste anybody's time. He's like, no, it's okay if you guys want to talk to me. I'm here. Yeah, you heard me. We're here for Tyler. So. Anyway, we did end up talking to Keith. He was great, and we were all about Tyler at that time.
Yeah, Keith. That was the first time I actually got to hang out and work with Keith Beasley, myself, and his brother Paul was there too. They're stand-up guys. They
so nice. Salt of the earth.
After the show, we went for dinner, and they teach me a lot about the industry, the do's, the don'ts. How to do things right, how never to over self-promote, and how never to come across as self-entitled.
Well, yeah, we learned that firsthand. We had no clue. He didn't say a thing.
You would never know Keith Beasley was the host of the #1 hunting show in Canada.
And we're standing there. And he has this gigantic,
we did
back, like he's on the backboard of this gigantic thing with a bear, and like it's twice the size of us, and his face is like right there, but like we're just too stupid to realize.
He's just humble. He didn't even offer me a pamphlet.
Yeah.
He's just sitting and smiling.
We just thought it was some marketing guy from Go Tour Canada.
Yeah.
No, they're the epitome of a true Canadian personality for the outdoors, and they do a great job at it. And I've never heard a bad thing about any of the brothers.
Yeah, that was our experience. And we've been friends ever since, liking, sharing and stuff on Facebook. And
yep, that's how it works. So. Exactly.
But so back to Tyler Dunn.
Yes,
all things Tyler Dunn.
Up there in the Sault Ste. Marie area, Tyler, what?
The Great White North?
The Great White North. What bodies of water do you cover? I think when we had talked before, I don't remember how many thousands of different lakes.
In Ontario alone, the province has 400,000 lakes, rivers, streams.
I've been trying to digest that for 3 months, and I still can't.
It's if you actually look at maps of the area, it's just water. A lot of places, it's just water. And our Algoma district, which is comparable to your counties, we have Lake Superior. Fish a lot of Lake Superior, which is Zone 9. We have another Zone 10, which is the St. Mary's River, which is considered a great lake. It's the river that connects Lake Huron and Lake Superior. And we have inland lakes, which is our Zone 14, which is you got our trout, lake trout, our splake, rainbows, our walleye, pike, muskie, smallmouth, largemouth, perch. Literally everything is available in this area. That's one beautiful thing about it. But sometimes it's kind of, overwhelming because there's so many places to go, and people don't dial. They have to spend some time on the same body of water for a year, 2 years, and learn those rapids. And people go once, twice, catch nothing, give up, go up somewhere else. it's almost people get spoiled up here and expect to catch fish very easily when oftentimes it's no different than anywhere else. You got to put some time in and learn it. Once you do figure it out, you're really going to score big.
So you mentioned today you are out fishing for lake trout, right? What
rainbows.
Rainbows.
We wrote, day before yesterday we wrote for lake trout on Superior. So we're driving about 2 hours north on the highway, and we're launching out of a remote launch out of Lake Superior Provincial Park, and we're heading out on Superior, which is, I think the water was 34 degrees. We're out in a couple hundred feet of water. You gotta check your weather, and it's big water. It's life and death if you get bad weather. But we were out there for a good portion of the day, and today we started off in the rapids chasing steelhead, and then finished off the day further up north on Superior chasing steelhead.
Wow.
Yeah, came back home and had something to eat, and I'm talking to you boys.
Tyler, I've seen some pictures online. You do guiding for spinning rod and fly fishing. Is that correct?
Yep, exactly. We do fly trips, spinning rod, bait casting, the whole deal. Boat trips, wading trips. I do offer kayak and canoe trips up in Lake Superior Park. Pretty much there's any kind of fishing up here for, if you're into big water, small water, big boats, there's charter trips where you can go downrigging for salmon, or there's middle of the summer wading trips for small trout. There's all kinds of options for people.
So you pretty much cover the whole gamut of...
well, he's being humble now, Kyle.
Well,
I mean, how do you pick a net?
Exactly. That was one of my business to offer a lot of different experiences for people, because a couple of the guides that do exist here, they only really concentrate on one specific thing, like the rapids. So there wasn't really there was a market for someone to come in and offer unique fishing trips for families, for all types of stuff, because people come up here and they some people come from Michigan and they don't have brook trout like we have here, so they want to come up here and catch brook trout, or other people come from say Toronto in Ontario and they want to catch walleye because they don't have good walleye fishing. So it was kind of when I started doing it, it was more of you contact me and let me know what you're looking for type thing, and I've kind of molded to what I've noticed that people are looking for, and I've offered trips specifically to what I've found over the few years of doing it when I started, what people were looking for.
That's awesome. So, I mean, somebody could pretty much book a trip with you, and then for a whole week they could pretty much be fishing different tackle, different species, different strategy. Yep. That's awesome.
Yeah, I do that a lot with people, actually. They just want to come up, we do smallmouth one day, then the next day we'll do largemouth. And then depending on the year, maybe we'll go out in the St. Mary's, do some steelhead. And then we have a really good run of summer Atlantic salmon. So a lot of people like to combine that into a trip, where we'll go do, say, a bass day, and then the next day they'll want to do Atlantic salmon. Yeah, there's a lot of options for people. And then a lot of people like to do the, big water boat trip, and then they like to do this small inland, either a canoe or a 12-foot aluminum boat, or...
Do you offer fly-ins?
Not exactly yet. Closest thing to a fly-in right now I'd offer is up on Lake Nipigon. It's comparable to a fly-in, but it's drive-to access. But the fishing's that's the trip I was trying to convince you guys to come up and do, and you guys come up to Canada.
Yeah, no, it's not going to take a lot of convincing. We just we just got to get through this August, and then we'll.
Tyler, one type of fishing that you didn't talk about that I know you do that's worthy of mentioning.
You going to go there?
Yeah,
the tooth missile.
He just went there.
No, I'm talking hard water.
No, I got you.
Yeah, you guys want to punch some holes through some ice, do you?
Man, that's hardcore up there.
Yeah, it can be hardcore up here.
You can tell him your dream fish if you want.
He might be able to make it happen.
A big muskie.
Through the ice.
Through the ice.
The only problem with that around here is it's closed in the winter. The season. Mm-hmm.
So you can't target them.
Can't target them.
And I don't want to be an international outlaw. I kind of do. That would be kind of cool for like someone like me, like
Internet's
a shepherd,
Yeah,
not outlaw.
Uncle Buck.
What'd you do? I caught a muskie out of season.
In Canada.
They turn you away at the border.
I'm a scofflaw. You're a known scofflaw, Mr. Buckman.
You pull it up through the ice, and you're like, "It's a good thing I didn't target this thing. It wasn't targeted.
It's not like I was spearfishing it.
I didn't target it.
Yeah, I didn't have my muskie decoy.
It just happened."
Quick, someone take a picture.
Although, coming up to kayak fish for some muskies and pike that's what I'd be into.
Yeah. It's our muskie fishing actually. It's relatively unknown in this area, and it's relatively really good. We have probably about 4 bodies of water that hold good populations of fish, and one in particular gets several. You see several fish over 50 inches every year. Guys that fish that lake hardcore, they're getting sometimes a couple fish over 50 in a week. It's there's not many guys up here that target it. It's slowly starting to get a little more noticed around our country and around the U.S. and people are starting to come up here. We had
Stop posting pictures about it.
Yeah. When will we get up there first?
Say no more.
Like the muskie hunter was up here last year, and he got some nice muskie and trying to do some promotion, showing people that there's not only trout and salmon up here, but there's the toothy critters, and there's a lot of muskie nuts that are around North America. They'll travel anywhere for a Lake Superior 50 or something. It's pretty unique to go out on Lake Superior and catching muskie. So that's one of the big draws. A lot of the hardcore muskie guys are interested about this area. Is that elusive Lake Superior muskie is a pretty big ticket.
Yeah.
Are you guys using those big swim baits now to go after?
Oh, yeah. Bulldogs. I've been using some equipment that a friend of mine from England brought over. It's a company called Weston Tackle. And we've been messing around with a lot of their big swim baits and some of their spinner baits and stuff like that. But their swim baits are pretty unique. Your typical bulldogs. We use all kinds of stuff like that.
Do they call them the British Bulldogs?
Yeah, they might over there. Yeah.
Who are the British Bulldogs?
I actually met the British Bulldog once. Funny you say that.
Davy Michaels. Or Davy Smith.
I just knew him as the British Bulldogs.
Yeah.
I was starting to. That was a little past my.
I think you talked us into coming up for the Sunny Run.
The Sunny Run. Yeah.
Bream.
Yeah.
They clog together in herds.
You could throw a cast net for those.
They turn the water yellow.
We'll be your first people to call you to come up and target sunfish.
Well, now, Tyler, I do have a question. You might have actually been starting down this road with those last couple of answers, but traditionally in this group, I'm just a hunting guy. I'm starting to see the light. Catfish got me out on the kayaks. I'm getting hooked on this bass thing. I'm starting to learn terms like whopper ploppers and spooks and jigs. And
I seen Catfish's post at the whopper plopper there. That's one of those new lures that. I don't see too many guys using yet.
They're pretty sweet.
It's taking PA by storm, that's for sure.
I lost one tonight.
From what I understand of the fishing that you're talking about, I know a lot of this stuff as far as what people want to do, what the trips that they want to book. A lot of that's going to be seasonal in nature. But I'm wondering, is there anything that seems to be like trendy? What's the hot new sexy thing to go after?
Float fishing for steelhead. Centerpin fishing for steelhead. Yeah, using a centerpin reel. Yeah. That's been kind of the trendy thing around here the last 3 to 4 years. Not only is it trendy, it's very efficient too. So people, first thought people were using centerpin reels and rods just to look cool and fancy and high class. But once they got a rod and reel in their hands and realized it's just a way better and more efficient way to fish, and it's a tool rather than a status.
The centerpin.
You've got my attention.
Yeah, the centerpin isn't that Wow. Can you explain that system?
It's comparable to a fly reel. It looks like a fly reel, but there's no drag.
Right.
So when you cast out, when that float hits the water, it's going out at the same pace as the flow.
It floats the water.
The water's actually taking it off, and it's the most efficient way to present your bait naturally and to cover water. And
is this a fly rod?
No, well,
it looks comparable to a fly. It looks like a fly rod. It's a little bit different, but fly rod, you cast out and you're maxed for how much water you can cover, right?
Yeah.
Where these float reels, you can, if there's no one around, a lot of places I can float fish 200 yards down the river.
It's the most annoying way to fish.
Fly fishermen love that
on the first day of trout.
Is this the guy you told me about?
That's the whole. That's a whole.
They just stand in the middle of the stream and let their lines go over top of everyone else.
I remember this now.
Yeah, that can deter people from center pinners, but that's the respect, and I think that just goes in any way you fish. It's
So you're just proving there's even more stuff I don't even know that I don't know. That's great.
He's got me lost on this one, so I don't feel bad.
Ryan,
I can imagine float pinning a whopper plopper 200 yards down the Skusky. If you can't drag a whopper plopper 200 yards up the Skusky and catch something, you can't do it.
My best buddy Adam's gonna love that. Float fishing a whopper plopper.
Tell him I'm on my way.
He's gonna love that.
I got the kayaks and I'm coming.
That's good.
You tell him hell's coming with me.
I'd say that's definitely the most trendy. Our trend in fishing the last couple of years around this area, anyway. And I do see more guys using fly rods the last couple of years. I do.
Do you provide any equipment when you come up, or do you got to bring your?
Provide everything.
What?
A lot of people show up with nothing. They're on a trip, so they don't have to bring any fishing gear. But on the other hand, I get a lot of people that want to bring, their lucky fishing rod, or if you want to bring a rod or a little tray of tackle or whatever you want, no problem. But
whatever rod you have is going to be lucky for me.
Yeah.
It is supplied, though. Everything's supplied. Tackle, termo tackle, baits, depending on flies, all that's. It's all supplied if needed.
Speaking of bringing something, though, real quick. The general couldn't be with us tonight. I know he wanted to talk to you, Tyler. So say hi.
Oh, did he?
Hi to you he's working late.
He loves fishing.
But bring in something. We just recently went on a striper trip with our new friend, and he brought 2 pounds of some of the best jerky I've ever eaten. And the guys on that boat were strangers when we went out. They devoured 2 pounds of this jerky.
Okay.
So if we're coming up for a week and we're center pinning whopper ploppers, I'm telling the general to bring 8 pounds per person of this jerky.
Is it from that Amish shop? Or
It's from the Amish place. Yeah.
Oh my gosh!
Can you get jerky across the border?
We're pro jerky in Canada.
We're going to have an entire podcast on how to smuggle jerky into Canada.
We'll ship it up first.
Drones.
There we go.
Yeah.
We're selling our drone, unfortunately. But yeah. The other thing I think we got to know, do you guys have gummy worms up there?
Oh yeah, we got gummy worms. Yeah, we're candy freaks up here.
Yeah, gummy worms are the way to go with fishing.
I think we're covered then, right?
Yeah.
Just at least one evening of corn dogs, and we're up there. I'm actually packing the truck.
Well, you guys ever have a hobo pie?
Yes. No. What is it? I want it.
Like a mountain pie? What's a hobo pie?
Never had a hobo pie? I'll have to show you the guys in Rupert. You cook it over a fire.
So like a mountain pie?
Mountain pie.
Would we call that a mountain pie?
Mountain pie, maybe? Yeah, we call them hobo pies up here.
Is it just
pretty standard in the summertime?
What are the ingredients?
Can't
2
tell
pieces of bread and whatever you want.
Yep.
Mountain pie.
Like a folding cast iron scissor thing.
Yeah, that's it. Exactly.
What's your favorite hobo pie recipe?
I'm a pizza man.
Yeah, me too.
Pizza sauce, cheese, pepperoni.
Too good.
One more reason to love you.
I can't even.
Man after my own heart.
This is the only podcast where my tongue's tied. I can't say anything without sounding like I love Tyler.
I want to shout it from the rooftops, but I don't have all I have is this microphone.
We do a lot of the apple pie and cinnamon down here, like the old school. Yeah, they're good too.
Yeah.
Tyler, what would you say your kind of average clientele looks like, or do you have a wide variety?
Mostly dudes, judging by the 6 guys that are here tonight.
Yeah. I do get a wide variety. I really do. Like in the last 3 months, I've had families from Germany, Lebanon, Japan.
So you're world renowned.
Well, traveling through, right? A lot of people come traveling. But for the most part, I get guys from, I'm going to say 40 to 60 that are coming up for the most part with their buddies or sons or, brother-in-laws, son-in-laws.
Man trips.
I do, but I do get family trips. I just booked one today with father and or husband and wife and their 4 kids. The kids are, I think, from 6 to 12 years old. They just want half a day of some bass fishing and come through and want to see the area. So I do get a mix. I've taken, girls before that are right into fishing. I've had full groups of girls actually.
Did that? I gotta stop.
Want to try ice fishing?
Did that flirt with the law though, Tyler? I'm sure the girls just want to fish, and I'm throwing up some air quotes here.
Yeah.
That answers that question.
All right.
That's the lacy like in the hair,
it's a hockey hair. There you go.
It's just hair, period. You've never seen me without my hat off. No, we talked about this at the show. One of my favorite, one of the big favorites here in Pennsylvania is the wade to Susquehanna for bass. Like midsummer up there, is it something that you do? Is any kind of wading for topwater?
Most of our bass fishing is in the lakes, and actually that's midsummer. That's basically what I'm guiding is a lot of our bass lakes, and our topwater blade's hot early mornings, and that we're using walking the dog baits, we're using some poppers, but. It's our summers can get hot. People don't realize, they think Canada, they think snow, but it's you will get 40 degree. Well, it's comparable to pretty close to 100 in our middle of the summer. It's humid, and it's
that's miserable.
It gets very miserable.
It's not miser weather.
It's hot and sticky, and
no, but you're perfectly fine with going to Florida in August.
Peacock bass.
I think that's the time of year most of the girls book their trips with them, so you can take your shirt off and flow that hockey hair back behind them,
like a Breck commercial. Hey,
that's funny.
Tyler, we've talked some time about the guide business, and we've talked about what you do as a guide. But if you didn't have anybody to guide, what would you want to go fish for? What do you get really stoked up about? Like, I can't wait because I'm going to go tomorrow and
flatheads on the Susquehanna
with our 2 pursuits
between two kayaks.
It's not even really a species thing anymore. It's more of new destinations, new places. Before I met you guys in Pennsylvania, I was down in Okeechobee for 2 weeks. I fished largemouth bass, a million times, but taking a trip to Florida we did 5 days in Robin Reservoir, and we did about 7 days on Lake O. So it was just exciting to get down there. Totally different ball game fishing largemouth on Lake Okeechobee compared to up here in Northern Ontario.
How'd you guys do?
We didn't get any of those 10-pounders. We seen some, and I think we hooked a couple that schooled us. But we got some fish pushing 5 pounds, and we met a lot of people. Got to learn the lake, and the guy I was down there fishing with, one of my best fishing buddies, and I actually grew up with him. He's fished the Coast FLW series as a co-angler this year to learn the lakes, and next year he's going to fish it on the pro side. So we went down and pretty much just tried to learn Lake Okeechobee in 2 weeks as best we could for next year when he goes down to fish as a pro. And I'm probably going to tag along with him and maybe fish as a co-angler for a couple of days. And so that's the deal behind Okeechobee.
Oh, man.
So you've not yet caught a monster predatory flathead. Have you caught one of them yet?
Nope. That's one thing. Nope. I've seen your pictures. I see your pictures.
I know a guy.
What are you doing in the middle of the summer?
Yeah, it's like September, August, October area. August, October.
Coming down to PA, it sounds like.
Yeah, buddy.
It's quiet on our river on the kayaks. It's nice.
There's like it is.
It's actually I just wrote a short story about the dirt road trip down Gut Road just to get to where we put the kayaks in can be an adventure in itself. It's all washed out and rutted out, and the kayaks are dragging, and you're trying to not beat the truck up with the trees on both sides to get down this old road. And there's always like one or two rednecks back where I put the kayaks in that are back there with like a Subaru that have been there for like a week, and they're just excited to see somebody that might have a cigarette or something.
Living in the
They've been bank fishing for a week.
Now that catfish has kind of taken us up that creek, up that tributary, if you will.
That's Wounded Knee Creek.
Yeah.
No, Wounded Knee.
Oh. What's one of your? I'm going to just keep on going on like a professional would here, Tyler.
Yeah, we'll get right back to that.
Yeah, we'll get back to that after we're done recording here. I am going to try to take the bull by the horns tonight. But what's a memorable? Like, you've done it every day now. You've done it since your 20s. Is there even one most memorable trip for you, or do you have a ton? And if you do, can you give us one?
If I had to pick one, it would probably be my first trip ever up to Lake Nipigon with a couple of my cousins, actually. My cousin Ted and my cousin Mike. We had, read stories about the lake and seen some videos, what we could find, and to where the world record brook trout's caught. So we booked a cabin, and we had big plans. We had a 16.5-foot Lund with a 30-horse on it, and we knew it was a big lake, but we didn't know how big it was till we got there. So we got there, we went around the first point, and wow, this is a real big lake. And we looked at the map, we realized that we weren't even on the lake yet. So we got out to the main lake, and we couldn't see across the lake. So we got the map again and looked at the map, and the lake's 80 miles by 50 miles.
And there's no, like, this is all like, this is a map. You can't.
This is a
there's
map.
no
This
GPS.
Is this is uncharted lake. There's no chart to the bottom. It's completely uncharted. There's no cell service. You're on your own.
And just to clarify, this is the lake that you said that we could all get to without having to do the fly-in, but it is like
yes, yeah. We now go to the other end of the lake, and we have a dialed in other than cabin resort, and we're still going out 20 miles in the lake, but we got a pretty sweet setup there, and it's a little different than our first trip up there was. So we were out there, and however much water, 300 feet of water, and we started fishing for a day or two. We got a couple fish, and by the end of the week, though, I think we probably put about 100 brook trout in the boat and fish up to 5 pounds. We've seen a couple
5-pound brook trout.
Oh, that's just run of the mill up there. You can't keep anything under 22 inches. It's a trophy lake.
What? That's like a whole stringer of brook trout here in Pennsylvania, and that's
your average brook trout's. I'm going to say around 20 inches, 19, 20 inches on that lake.
Steve, come back. We can't leave tonight.
So if I had to pick one trip, we're catching whitefish mixed in, lake trout up to 15 pounds. So that was our first real eye-opener of that lake, and it's now grown into an annual trip with the boys, and I do some guide trips up there through Onawin River Resort. And it's really worked into it's almost changed our life a bit going up there that first trip, and we'll never not go up there again in our lives. Every year it's part of us now.
Do you take Marc-Andre Fleury up there?
Yeah, I wish.
He's a little busy right now.
Yeah, he's a little busy.
He's Canadian, right?
I think.
Yeah.
If he's not, he should be.
Just checking.
He's from the Poutine province.
Nice.
Tyler, it sounds like you have your high trips. Have you ever had anything where you're just sitting there wondering what went wrong or what was I thinking?
Oh yeah, that still happens all the time.
Like, why did I book those 8 guys from that podcast?
Or how did I end up falling off my kayak in front of the new guy?
Yeah. Oh yeah,
I'm giving it back to you.
Slam.
Back in our learning days and our younger days, when that's how you learn. You do stupid things, and not being prepared, not telling people where we're going to be when there's no service, and going out bad weather or going out on sketchy ice and falling through the ice, and you can get in trouble real quick out there. I've learned that, and for the most part, you can avoid most of any of those situations with, no fish is worth dying. That's rule number 1.
Unless it's a world record.
Unless it's a world record.
There was a book once called Moby Dick, though.
True.
He did it, yeah.
Captain Ahab. Huh?
Captain Ahab.
So, how do you handle? Speaking of trophies, it sounds like every fish you're yanking out from your pictures and what you're talking about is a trophy. And how do you handle taxidermy? Like would be like a transition for us.
Yeah, for the most part, I'd highly recommend doing an artificial. You do length, girth measurements, and then we take pictures of the fish close up, headshots, pictures of the color, and then usually I recommend just going back to wherever you're from and getting something local, your best local guy. Or there's places here in the Sioux you can hire and drop off your measurements and your pictures, and they'll mail it to you. Other option is to do a skin mount, and if you do decide to keep the fish, whether it's could be hooked bad or whatever reason, you want your rate to off if it's within your legal limits, your right to keep a trophy fish. With my guests, I frown upon a lot of times keeping the trophy fish, but for skin mount, what you want to do is have a rag with you. If you have a rag, soak it in water and wrap the fish in that wet rag and put it on a flat piece of wood or a board or anything flat and throw it in the freezer. And that wet rag will keep the fins and the skin preserved for the taxidermist. It won't crack them, keep them moist. And the flat board obviously keeps the fish flat and keeps it from wrinkling and looking disfigured. But I highly recommend paying a little bit more money for an artificial mount. They'll last forever.
No, I agree.
A skin mount will last, I'm
a huge catch and release, free the fighter. I agree with that.
Yeah, me too. I'm, don't get me wrong. Keeping fish is, it's part of the fishing experience. It's selective harvest that people actually have started learning. I've seen a big difference in the last 5 years around here with, selective harvest and putting fish back for tomorrow, whereas 10 years ago it was, catch and kill pretty well is the mentality for everywhere up here. And yeah, the young generation is actually stepping up, and our grandfathers taught us what you catch is what you eat. And now I see the young anglers, the young steelheaders out there, they're 15, 16, 18 years old, and they're catch and release and, treating the fish nice. And some are using barbless hooks, and a lot of guys are stepping away from using live bait. And there's all kinds of different ways to, preserve the fishery for future years to come.
Do you eat much fish?
Personally, I don't eat a lot. I do like fish. I keep more fish in the wintertime myself because we're doing a lot of perch fishing on Superior, and I'm a sucker for perch. And I'm not a huge fan of steelhead or trout in general. So personally, if I want to keep a feed of fish for whatever reason, I'll usually just keep it the day of, whatever I'm doing. I try not to freeze any fish anymore. You just end up stockpiling it. So I usually like to keep it fresh for. It's usually a pretty planned out. We're having a fish fry. A couple of the guys coming over, so we'll, stockpile some perch for a day or two. And
I don't talk about it. I don't talk about it very often, but it something down deep inside frustrates me. I mean, I live at such a phenomenal private lake that, 3-inch green Mr. Twisters, you throw them and it's just crappie. But I see guys out in pontoon boats and I see guys from the bank with minnows, and they're just keeping buckets of them. And I have no clue how this lake still has crappies. But, 50. There's 5 guys. You're talking 50 fish apiece per night. They're out there every night. And it actually gets very frustrating knowing that they're freezing them and most of them are going bad. So,
what the problem with that even is too, it's not even just the numbers, it's the size. It's what people have to remember is like a big fish will breed another big fish, like a human. A guy that's 6'5", usually his son's going to be 6'5", right? A man that's 5'2", typically his son's going to be 5'2". Oh yeah, or similar, right? So
sorry about that.
The fish world is it's the same way. As you catch a big fat female rainbow, genetically that fish is going to breed, a healthy, bigger fish. So that's another thing that people have to remember is those big fish are genetically going to produce bigger fish down the road.
Did you hear that, Kyle? They're throwing you back, but they're eating me.
Yeah, well, that's all right.
Well, speaking of eating, I bet you're eating that walleye.
He doesn't like you, Phil.
Oh, hello?
Yeah, you there?
Say it again.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, cut up there for a second.
That's all right. I said, speaking of eating, I bet you're eating that walleye, though, that you're catching.
Oh, yeah. We eat walleye. Closed at the moment.
No doubt.
Closed at the moment. But, yeah, I'm a walleye, perch, and whitefish. That's my 3 favorite.
You gotcha.
Do they have crappie up there, Tyler?
We do. We have not a lot of it, actually. There's one place on the St. Mary's River that's a pretty good crappie fishery in the wintertime. It's actually spectacular. The last 4 or 5 years, it's really gotten good. But we've been catching them for about 10, 12 years that I know of around this area. They've started migrating north through the Great Lakes. We never had them here, and our water is getting a little warmer, so we're starting to see a little fluctuation of our crappie, and our largemouth bass population is really taking off too.
Well, I never keep crappies, but we, every now and again through the ice, I feel that the colder water, the fish get the meat gets firmer and they just taste better. They're cleaner, whatever the case may be. But if we get a chance to go ice fishing, we seem to like keep a few every winter on a certain day or whatever. But for the most part, we throw everything back: catfish, crappies, whatever it may be.
I couldn't imagine cleaning 50 crappie a night every day.
I've done it a few times in my life, maybe a handful of times, 50 to 100 crappies, and it takes some time, even with the electric fillet knife.
Almost as long as it took to catch them.
Yeah,
I know.
People enjoy it. Right. Good fish fry is a good fish fry.
It's tradition. It's that too. People, families and neighbors, and
Tyler,
it's always a good time.
Tyler, I could go on and on all night, man. I mean, we could make this a marathon podcast if we wanted to.
Absolutely.
But unfortunately, we're going to have to start getting towards the end of our tunnel here. But before we go, tell our listeners, what do you got coming up this year in 2017? What's going on with you?
Oh, this year I just struck a new deal with Costa Sunglasses. So I'm excited to be working with Costa. Yeah.
Just happen to need a new pair of sunglasses.
So I just got rolling with them, and working with Big Rock Wholesale out of Vancouver, British Columbia.
Are you you working their kiosk at the mall?
Maybe down the road. But other than that, I started a steelhead initiative here up in the Lake Superior rivers where we're doing scale samples for the Ministry of Natural Resources. So we got permits to fish some of the sanctuaries. We're taking scale samples, length, girth, sex of the fish. Then we're giving the samples to a fisheries biologist who's going to analyze it for age and genetics and all that kind of fun stuff. And we're trying to better manage our steelhead fishery around here because it's all wild, natural fish. Sort of try and learn a little bit of where our population stands because we don't really know.
There you go.
People want regulation changes and all this and that, but we got to get some numbers first and find out where we even stand. Also working with a couple nice TV shows this summer. Going to be shooting around here, so stay tuned for that. I'm not going to say with who yet, but you'll see some of the stuff on my Instagram and Facebook. And I got a reality show. A couple weeks I'll be doing here locally.
Really?
Another thing I can't say, it's a big one. I can't say the show yet, but
keep us in,
tuned.
Please keep us in the loop. Holy man.
Yeah, let us know.
That'll be a pretty cool opportunity to work with the biggest production crew I've ever been with and dealt with. It's
RuttenRiverPursuits.com.
Yeah, other than you guys, Canadian production crew I'm talking.
Well,
That makes sense.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
But I'm excited to do that and meet new people in the industry. And
I see.
That's great.
I see. Make Canada first. All right.
yeah, make Canada great again. We see what you're doing.
there you go.
You're doing great up there, Tyler. You know what's crazy sitting around here? It's been a fun podcast. If we had like just this really quirky, crazy looking, what do I want to say? Like cheesy, big smile Tyler with Costa sunglasses on one of them like yellow T-shirts, like 1970s Scooby-Doo type shirt. I'd freak Tyler Dunn guiding. I'd actually wear that.
Oh, I'd wear it all day.
This is my buddy Tyler Dunn. He's a crazy SOB.
I'd rock it like a boss.
Hey, man.
You got to get them shirts made, Tyler.
Oh, I'll send you guys some gear down. I will.
Tyler, what's the best way for people to get in touch with you to book a trip or learn more about
Best way to get in touch with me is through my website, www.tylerdunguiding.ca. You can hit me with an email on there or just through Facebook or Instagram. Just put in Tyler Dunn Guiding and my Facebook page will come up or Instagram page will come up. Just fire me a message. I usually get back to people within a day. So a lot of times I'm out fishing, so I don't see the messages till night. So, but if stay patient with me, I'll get back to you usually within 24 hours. And, I'm always offering tips to people that, are coming up to other places in Canada, just have general questions on where to go, what to see, what to do, what to fish for. Whether or not it's with me or not, I have no problem answering questions for anybody.
Awesome. So tylerdunn.ca, Dunn is spelled with two N's, right?
Yeah, tylerdunguiding.ca.
tylerdunguiding.ca. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I don't know. It's quite possible you might see an old beat up like spray painted orange and black Winnebago show up in Canada.
Hey man, my hobie's ready to go at any moment. Let's do it.
With your 8 best friends from America.
Yeah, my 8 best buds from Pennsylvania. Absolutely.
Oh yeah, that's what it's all about.
A boot. It's a boot.
A boot.
Are you thinking about making the show again this year?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm hoping for the nod from the Go Fish Ontario program. That's who had us down there promoting the province and, talking fishing lodges and then stuff like that with everybody.
Have them listen to this podcast.
No, I will.
We do a dinner, and that you'll definitely be invited to. And if you need any kind of break or reprieve, you know where to find us then.
Oh, absolutely. Appreciate that, guys.
It's a long show.
You got the Blind Shaman's Harrisburg Guide Service.
There you go.
Get Tyler out in a goose blind. It's goose season, Dornis.
Yeah.
I like it.
So where can they find us at, guys?
Well, before we tell everybody where to find us, I actually would like to just take one more opportunity to just thank all the individuals and organizations that have chosen the Rutten River Pursuits podcast for their advertising needs. And please, everyone, any chance you get, make sure you give them your business whenever possible. If you would like to advertise with the podcast, you can contact us through our website at rutandriverpursuits.com or through our Facebook page. We offer reasonable weekly and monthly rates, and we can even discuss the opportunity of dedicating an entire podcast to you. Having said all of that, just make sure everyone can find us at www.rutandriverpursuits.com. On there, you can find all of the information you need, download all of our previous episodes, find us on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play.
Castbox.
That's Stevie's preferred.
That's the one.
You can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and be sure to follow us as a group and as individuals.
And the Outdoor Podcast channel.
Yeah.
OPC.
Follow Tyler Dunn.
Yeah.
Tyler Dunn guiding everybody.
Thanks, Tyler.
Get you some.
Thanks, Tyler.
Hey, guys. Thanks again for having me. It's great talking to you.
Wounded Knee.
Thanks for listening to the Rut and River Pursuits podcast. Follow the R2 Pro staff by searching Rut and River Pursuits on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Until the next episode, we need to see you in the outdoors.